You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be the movie Invincible Man. So let's get into it. You know, we got this CV-19 going on. I wish everybody well. Wish everybody to stay safe. Stay germ free as much as possible. It's highly contagious. Subscribe and like to the channel. Appreciate it. Still trying to get the channel to grow. So this movie stars Elisabeth Moss, and she did a good job, a great job. She had a lot of screen time, and she did a great job going through her motions in this film. Now, this film kind of dates back to a movie called Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon in the 90s, and during that movie he was a scientist, and he pretty much took something where he made himself invincible, and he kept trying different like test subjects, and then he finally did it on his own, and he finally did it and made himself invincible. And then he went crazy, and then he started going haywire on his girlfriend and stuff like that. So this movie, that's the only similarity pretty much in him going haywire. This movie was about a man who was being abusive to his girl, and by him being abusive to his girl, he pretty much she hated him and wanted to get away from him. So the movie starts off pretty much with she had gave him sleeping pills or whatever she gave him to knock him out, and then she got up and pretty much vacated the premises, and he had this high tech secured house, and pretty much she made her way out. And in the process of making her way out, she had already planned with her sister to meet her to pick her up, and on her way out she went back to save the dog, knocked the car alarm off, and she proceeded and bounced. But the sister came down the road, just like a movie. They set you up. The sister's talking, and she's supposed to pick her sister up and boom and get gone. But they're sitting there talking. Of course, he come out of nowhere. He come out of the woods and tell her get out the car, and he tried to snatch her out the car, and then the sister pulled off. But then he got to see what she drugged her with. So from there, she went and stayed with her friend and his daughter, and they were staying there. And then she got a notice that he committed suicide, and that he left her money, and he left her $5 million, and she would get 100,000 a year, or no, or something like that, either 100,000 a month, something, whatever. She would get the money, and so she instantly gave the some money to the guy's daughter to help pay for her college or whatever. So from there, it pretty much the movie starts. She could always sense somebody there, but she don't know what it is. And then he, of course, he starts playing game tricks with her mind. He's doing things to her that makes her pretty much, people think that she's crazy. So one of the things that he does is that he smacks the guy's daughter, and you know, when she's going crazy, the daughter comes, feel like she's going crazy, the daughter comes and pretty much, you know, console her, and he smacks her, but it looks like she the one that did it. So from there, everybody thinks she's crazy. The sister thinks she's crazy, and she pretty much the brother is his lawyer, who told her she got the money, and she pretty much goes to him and tell her that, yo, I you know what I'm saying, I believe he's still alive. And he pretty much told her like, yo, you going crazy. I know my brother did some things, but you know what I'm saying, he's dead or whatever. Just take it as a blessing that he's gone. Well, that wasn't the case. So she began to investigate on her own, you know what I'm saying? Because things start happening, and her sister received the email. He was good with tech, so he hacked her information and pretty much he hacked her information and wrote her sister an email, and where she really went hard on her sister. The sister thought it was her, so the sister ain't want nothing to do with her. So she started to fire back, and what happened is she found that she went to his house, and she got to see that someone was still living in the house. So she went into this room that was like supposed to be a private room. Inside that private room, she got a chance to see that he had this suit, and inside this suit, it was the suit that makes him invisible. So now she knew that it was real and she wasn't crazy. But what she did early in the movie, you find out that she had a hidden space inside of his house. And so what she took and did is she took that suit and hid it. So of course this guy is high tech, so he already had another suit or whatever. So what he takes and do, she calls her sister, pretty much tells her sister, well, yeah, hold on, no, yeah. So he calls her sister, and she want to reconcile with the sister, and she tried to tell the sister like, look, hey man, I didn't write that, you gotta believe me. And they had dinner, and the sister probably like just listening to her at first, but then out of nowhere, you see the sister eyes is looking up, while the sister is trying to tell her what's going on. And you see her sister looking up and over. Then you go shoot, and the knife come and cut the sister's throat. And then he puts the knife in her hand, and she can't let it go because he's holding her hand there. And so she gets locked up. She's trying to tell him I didn't do that or whatever, but everybody, and then of course everybody in the restaurant seeing her, and it looks like she did it. So when she gets back into the police station, he's there with everybody. They put her in sedated drugs, and when she wakes up, he's there, and she knows he's in there the whole time. So he pretty much start going bonkers on the police. He's killing all the cops. They can't see him, so he's killing them, shooting them, doing everything. And now all this is on footage, and she gets loose, and she gets free. And when she gets free, she goes to he's headed to the house where he don't want her to die. He wants her to kill everybody that she's close to make her suffer or whatever. So one of the agreements that he had with her is for her to just come back with him and have his baby or whatever. So she told him never, and because once she start questioning the brother, like, I know he's out there, that's what the brother came up with. So then when it goes back to the house where the guy and the girl was, her friend, he comes in, and they were still not really believing him. But then after he comes in there, and he's in his suit, and he's pretty much at that point beating the crap out of the man, and the little girl is scared. She gets some shots off at him, And when she was shooting him, his suit was coming back and like it was defecting the suit where you could see the imagery of him, and it was fading out, but it was coming back in. And so once they finally killed him, it ended up being the brother who had the suit on. So the brother was in on it the whole time, and then they pretty much was like, some information came out that said he was still alive, he was kidnapped, and it wasn't, the brother was behind it the whole time. And then she don't believe him. She like, forget that, like, nah, I know it was you, because he knew too much personal stuff. The brother was in on it, but I know you was doing it too. So she showed up to his house, and he pretty much, he sat down and had dinner with her, and he trying to tell her like, yo, so the guy that she was staying with the little girl, he's a cop, so he got the wire on her, and she know he's lying and he can get away. So she's asking him, telling him, yo, won't you admit it where that you did it? And he like, hey man, I didn't do anything. So she knew right then and there he would never admit it. So he told her, you know what I mean, my brother was crazy, but I'm glad you're here. But you could tell he was still sick, and he was still like obsessed of her. So from there, she goes and tells him she got to use the bathroom, and of course he's obsessed with her. But she's really then went back and go into that secret room that she had and get that suit. She puts that suit on, and of course he can't see her, and before you know it, he's sitting there waiting for her to come, and she slices his throat. And slices his throat, kills him, and then the cop comes, and she like, oh, help. And she called the ambulance. Ambulance. And when the cop comes and show up, she pretty much is like, you heard that, right? You heard that, right? And then she like, he just killed herself. And the cop knows she has something to do with it, but, you know, he's just letting it go for everything she been through. So pretty much at that moment, she walked off with the suit. That's pretty much the movie. Only part I left out is when earlier in the movie, when she's figuring out that he had something to do, when you see the previews and he's picked her off the ground and holding her, during that scene, she goes up in the attic, and it's some paint in the attic, and she throw the paint on him, and pretty much that's when she knew it was real. And then, you know, but the mind is playing tricks on her, so she don't know if she was hallucinating or not. But overall, it was a decent film. It, you know, kept you in tune. I guess this was a little bit long review because I went over pretty much everything. So in my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie because Elisabeth Moss did real good. I want to give this movie a 3 out of 4 stars. It was a 3 out of 4 star. It was decent enough. You won't be disappointed too much to watch it. I would give it a 3 out of 4 stars. It was a decent film. So right now, subscribe and like to the channel. Leave a comment if you've seen the movie and you enjoyed it, or if you see Hollow Man, let me know. Till next time.